Good morning, everyone. Today's Earth Day, so I thought we would break down these different 5 segments going through the show, the history, just environmental issues in general. What's the deal with this carbon stuff? Why is it beneficial to connect with nature? And we're going to go over some activities that we can do to connect with nature. And essentially, I always love giving out journaling questions just to get the gears turning on how we want to embrace being out in nature, refreshing, recharging our batteries so we can show up and be the best version of ourselves, not only for ourselves, but the people we love and care about most. Cheers, friends. It's going to be a banger episode. Thanks, Mother Earth. Let's get to it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Your Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercise that'll make you the absolute best person you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. Today is Earth Day, so I thought we would celebrate and give cheers back to Mother Earth as we're going to break down in the introduction, I'd quickly gone over just these 5 segments. So this will be the layout for the show. We're going to touch on the history of Earth Day, environmental issues, why it's beneficial to connect with nature, activities we can do, just some examples, and some journaling questions. Because we always love stuff that we can write down, good old pen and piece of paper to really clarify our thoughts, our intentions, and our actions moving forward. Awesome. All right, it's going to be a full episode. We're going to get rocking and rolling right with it. So I'm going to be reading a decent amount this morning. So we'll be seeing through a little bit of a history lesson. First off, so what was the history of Earth Day? It was like most things are like very strong events create change, and strong change within humans and individuals. And starting off with this in 1969, Santa Barbara oil spill. The catalyst for Earth Day can be tracked back to January 28th, 69, when a massive oil spill occurred off the coast of Santa Barbara, California. The disaster sparked public outcry and drew attention to the environmental consequences of oil drilling. One of the politicians, Senator Gaylord Nelson, deeply moved by the Santa Barbara oil spill and inspired by the student anti-war movement in the 70s, envisioned a national day to focus on environmental issues. He announced the idea for a national teach-in on the environment. So the first day took place in April 22nd, 1970. And really the goal was impact and globalization. Each Earth Day 1970 had a significant impact. It led to the creation of the United States Environmental Protection Agency, also known as the EPA. Again, that is the United States Environmental Protection Agency, and the passage of landmark environmental laws such as the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, and Endangered Species Act. Earth Day also went global, with countries around the world adopting the tradition and using it as a platform to address environmental changes. Awesome. Subsequent Earth Day has been celebrated annually since 1970, growing in scale and significance. Each year, it serves as a reminder of the importance of environmental protection and sustainability, as well as an opportunity for individuals, communities, and governments to take action to address pressing environmental issues. Gaining awareness on it, trying to improve it, all good stuff. Awesome. So when people talk about environmental issues, what does this all include? So going on to the second segment of the show. So these are just some environmental issues that I wanted to address and highlight throughout the show. These are talking points. These are things that come up, but just getting some more clarity and understanding of what the hell this really is and what it means. All right. So these are some environmental issues that are a hot topic. Climate change. So one of the most pressing environmental issues of our time, climate change, refers to the long-term alteration of temperature and typical weather patterns on Earth. It is primarily driven by human activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes, leading to phenomena like global warming, sea level rise, and extreme weather events. All right, I'm putting on, this is all Earth Day. Climate change is, I'm a big believer that we should do everything in our power to protect Mother Earth. I think Earth is going to live far beyond humans. I think we'll be dumb enough to kill ourselves off eventually in some way, or a meteor or whatever happens, right? But I think Earth will live on. And I've heard this analogy that humans are like the fleas of Mother Earth. And unfortunately, that's not good for us, because if something happens, we'll be getting rid of. But okay, anyway, but why I bring this up is because I like to look at both sides of the aisle, such as climate change. Is it inevitable? Is human activity a significant influence on climate change? Is climate change a guarantee? The planet used to be way hotter than it is today, and there was a point where it was a total ice age. So we know that it's going to change no matter what. I think the question is, are humans making enough impact, such as like sea level rise? I have questions on this because, like, Plymouth Rock, like, how old is that? You can still see like the year and the date on Plymouth Rock. Like, the ocean hasn't risen above that. Places like Florida and this and that are still, like, the coasts are still at where they were when, like, we were kids and when our parents were kids. So are the seas really rising? I'm just saying, I don't really know. And extreme weather events, I think we've had hurricanes and stuff like that for a long time. I don't know. Are humans making a significant impact? Again, that's the question. But so climate change. We know that change is inevitable, but are we making an impact? This is where the next categories are the ones I really want to more highlight, like air pollution. There's no denying that air pollution is a significant force in, I think, connecting with nature, getting out to forests and getting out to these places. It's so crucial because we need clean air. When people are poisoned, something that's absolutely atrocious. One of my friends, he went to China and he's breathing in air, and he said he could literally, you can smell the toxicity in your urine, like when you're going to the bathroom and stuff. It's pretty nuts. How I'm very grateful to live in America because our air quality is really, really good compared to most of the world. So air pollution. Air pollution involves the release of harmful substances into the atmosphere, including pollutants like particulate matter, nitrogen oxides, sulfur dioxide, and volatile organic compounds. It can have serious health impacts on humans and ecosystems, contributing to respiratory diseases, smog formation, and acid rain. Water pollution, we got to watch out for water pollution, huge concern. Water pollution occurs when contaminants are introduced into water bodies such as rivers, lakes, and oceans. Loss of biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life forms and ecosystems on Earth. Human activities such as habitat destruction, overexploitation of natural resources, pollution, and climate change have led to significant loss of biodiversity worldwide. This one I have questions on. And again, like, this is like, do lots of research back and forth, but biodiversity worldwide at a significant loss, even though we make more, again, putting the tinfoil hat on this morning on Earth Day. But to me, to my understanding, we're discovering more species at a faster rate than species are going extinct. So I don't know if that's a loss or if our technology is just getting better. Either way, I think we should protect the animals and all this kind of stuff. But I just a point I want to bring up. Either way, this loss can have cascading effects on ecosystems, including reduced ecosystem services, disruptions to food chains, and diminished resilience to environmental changes. Deforestation. Man, the trees just filter stuff so well. We got to keep the trees. But things like soil erosion, biodiversity decline, we were just talking about soil erosion. I've heard a lot about this with ag farms and soil erosion, and I don't know a whole lot about that. I think doing more research on that would really benefit on my end, or talking to an expert. Carbon emissions in general. All right. Carbon, I did want to talk a little bit about, because this word gets thrown around a lot when it comes to Earth and its impacts, CO2, carbon dioxide. Waste management, the last environmental issue that I wanted to just highlight and bring up this morning. So improper waste disposal and management contribute to environmental pollution and degradation. This includes issues such as plastic pollution, landfill overflow, and hazardous waste disposal. Makes you think, where's all this garbage going? Where's all the garbage even go? Waste management. Man, I really hope we can figure out a way to get rid of our waste in a nice, proper way. Who knows? I got a feeling that humans are going to take the easy cop out and just launch like something out into outer space as we continue to develop those endeavors and just turn like Mars into a trash can or something. I hope they don't do that, but I'm just saying. All right. So what is carbon's role in all this climate change anyway? So just getting a little nerdy this morning on carbon. Carbon plays a central role in climate change primarily through the emission of carbon dioxide, CO2, a greenhouse gas, if that sounds familiar. Here's why carbon pollutants are significant in the context of climate change and their role. Greenhouse effect. Probably heard of this effect before. Carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, creating a natural phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. This process is essential for maintaining a habitable climate on Earth by keeping the planet warm enough to support life. However, human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, have significantly increased. Significantly is the question, right? Is this really what's doing it? I don't know if they have a real form to measure that. Just saying, tinfoil hat. Either way, have significantly increased the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, enhancing the greenhouse effect and leading to global warming. Fossil fuel combustion. The combustion of fossil fuels for energy production, transportation, and industrial processes and other purposes is the primary source of carbon dioxide emissions. Deforestation and land use change. Taking down the trees. Turns out trees and vegetation act as carbon sinks, absorbing the CO2 during photosynthesis and storing it in their biomass. The plants, man, Mother Nature just cleaning up our mess, but really need the trees and the forest. And that's one of America's greatest attributes is just the pure mass of trees and forests and stuff that we have in this great country. Positive feedback loop. So it kind of feeds into each other. This I thought was interesting. Carbon emissions from human activities can trigger positive feedback loops that amplify climate change. For example, as temperatures rise, permafrost, frozen soil in Arctic regions begin to thaw, releasing large amounts of methane, another potent greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere. This methane further enhances the greenhouse effect, leading to more warming and permafrost thawing, creating a self-reinforcing cycle. This one I find really interesting on like the warming of the planet when there's strong correlations in research that I was looking up and into, in podcasts I've been listening to, and papers I've been reading on, like when temperature rises, the percentage of life in an environment rises. Like when you look at down in the Amazon or in forests, like or just places where it has a higher temperature, there are higher signs of life, frequency of life, like just there's so much to support. Like if it was continuing to warmer, wouldn't life expand? But what's the consequences? These are things I don't really know, but I think it's cool to like just do some research and kind of I just don't want to have a strong opinion one way or the other on things that I don't really understand. So just kind of doing the research. So when I do learn more about it, it can be something interesting. Ocean acidification, carbon dioxide emissions not only contribute to global warming, but also lead to ocean acidification. When CO2 is absorbed by the oceans, it reacts with seawater to form carbonic acid, lowering the pH of seawater. This acidification can have serious consequences for marine ecosystems, including coral reefs, shellfish, and other marine organisms that rely on calcium carbonate to build their shells and skeletons. Cool. Okay, so these were some common, like, just looking at what's the role of carbon, like what are some things that are going on. You've heard of greenhouse gases, fossil fuel combustion, deforestation, positive feedback loops that continue, and ocean acidification. Cool. What's our next segment? That's a lot of reading. So why is it beneficial to connect with nature? Let me go ahead and get over here. We're going to do a little writing on the board. So, all right, we got a little history on Earth Day. We talked about a few environmental issues. And now we just want to kind of break into like the benefits. So let's go over here and do some benefits of connecting with nature. So benefits of nature. Nature benefits. Awesome. All right, I'm going to rattle through these. I kind of got a long list going here. Let me get back over to my notes. Okay, first off, stress reduction. Just putting your feet on the ground. They call it grounding, but just getting out, walking on the grass maybe a little bit today can help with releasing, just getting out in nature. Maybe you're doing some yard work. We're going to get into some activities and some examples here shortly, but the first part, just reducing stress. Second one would be mental health. Mental health. If you're struggling with mental health, I believe getting out of your head and into the world, specifically Mother Nature, can be super beneficial. Next is for your physical health. Whether it's just the natural light in the mornings, helping a drain out that adenosine in the chemical in our brain that makes us like feel so like lackadaisical and tired and these types of things. Getting out in nature, getting natural light, getting the vitamin D within our skin being our biggest organ on our body. So it's probably good to nurture and feed that one, right? So physical health, so much within that. And I thought I had one more. All right, this one, I wrote this one down as spirit. Oop, lost my chop. Spirit. So whether you're a religious person, you're a spiritual person, or a universal person, I'm a big believer in there's something that nature feeds us as human beings that can't even be put into words. Just getting outside, just connecting with it, I think even on a spiritual level is very, very, it just makes a major impact. When I have a good day outdoors, I genuinely feel different. And it's in a good way. It's like this release, this detoxification, this like just acceptance. And again, words will never describe it, but I think there's a spiritual effect and spiritual benefit from being outside and connecting with nature. From some study I was reading, he was saying that humans were designed to be outside and active like 80% of their day. And nowadays there's some people who live in cities and they go from a concrete apartment to a concrete garage to an office building, and their days are like 5 to 10% outside. So you can see how if you're naturally designed and hardwired to be outside 80% of the day and you're only doing 10%, oh wow, go figure. We're all anxious and depressed and we're not getting the right proper vitamins, neutral, and spiritually we're not like connected the way that we want to be. Okay, so there's where some benefits. What are some activities that we can do? Some activities that we can do to connect with Mother Earth. If you're just now joining us, good morning. But we're going to break down some activities that we can do to better connect with Mother Earth. All right, let me get some. Happy Earth Day, everyone. So maybe you want to do some gardening, or I just like this lawn work, lawn care. I feel like I'm officially getting old because I'm starting to really enjoy like taking care of our own personal yard. We have rental properties and mowing them. It's fun, but it's not as fun as like something that's your own project or your own home. So creating something for yourself, such as your gardening or lawn care, something outside, that's a great activity coming in the spring, especially someone who lives in the Midwest. Okay. The next one is I like to use your senses. So suffering, it's really hard to suffer in the present moment. I've taken a lot of my lessons from both my life coach, mentors, reading books from like Dan Millman or Eckhart Tolle. These people, they talk about your senses a lot. So when you get out in nature today, listen to what you're really hearing. Feel the weight of your feet on the ground. Maybe if you're comfortable with it, you're barefoot out on the ground for grounding. Absolute awesome benefits from that. I'm a big believer in energy and frequency and these types of things, but to each their own. You just feel whether you feel like the leaves of the tree or you're just like feeling the textures of the rock or something outside. Getting your senses engaged is an absolute really, really fun activity. My neighbors probably think I'm a weirdo because I'm like just out at the pond and I'm like touching, like I can feel the cold water, or I'm closing my eyes and I'm breathing. I'm taking a nice deep breath in, a nice exhale out. And I'm just listening to the birds and kind of trying to be absorbed in nature. But getting your senses involved is always a really, really great way to just let go, to feel good. And so senses, and I would put in the same category as this, even just like a meditation outside, I feel like I've gotten a ton of benefits from meditation, or even just like a breathing exercise in general. Quality breathing is not voluntary. Is not involuntary. Sorry, I messed that up. Quality breathing is not involuntary. We need to do breathing exercises, meditation. These are the push-ups of the mind if we want to be able to really strengthen our bodies and our spirits to enjoy the present moment as much as possible. All right. So you could go for walks. Walks outside. You could go to a park. I absolutely love parks with all of my heart. I think it's like the greatest thing ever. And just getting outside, connecting with nature, going on walks, going to parks or something like that, that could be a really fun activity. Next one could be something in the community. So one of our neighbors was nice enough. He's out there outside picking up trash on the freeway. That's really, really cool to see. Or you can go and get involved with maybe what my sister was just telling me about. She went to this event and it was outside and there was a bunch of vendors and stuff like this. So just getting out and getting immersed inside your community could be a great activity to connect with Mother Earth today. Awesome. See what's going on in your neighborhood. Something along the lines of like volunteering and getting outside. Awesome. All right. The last segment of the show is I wanted to get some journaling questions. So some activities, whether you're gardening, you're doing lawn care, you're just getting your senses involved, meditation, breathing exercises, you're going out for, maybe you go out for a walk or a run, maybe you even work out outside. I like jumping on my breaks. I like to jump rope a little bit outside in the backyard. Maybe you're going to parks. Maybe you and a friend, you do this stuff with a friend, because doing stuff we like with people we like is pretty awesome. Community, volunteer work, that kind of stuff. So maybe you're just journaling, thinking of what activities can I do to get outside and to help respect Mother Earth today. Awesome. The last couple of questions is, I would just want to ask you, like, how do I currently incorporate nature into my daily life? Maybe it'd be easier if I shared my screen here. Okay, let me change this up. Awesome. How do I currently incorporate nature into my daily life? What activities or experiences bring me the most joy and fulfillment? I would say going for hikes on national parks, just going hikes to just local parks, just going out and walking in nature is definitely probably my favorite activity. But how do you currently incorporate that into your life? Next question is, what are some barriers or obstacles that prevent me from spending more time in nature? How can I overcome these challenges to prioritize connecting with Mother Earth? We all have the same 24 hours. I think this needs to be a priority more for people. It's like, what's really your priority? Is it your work or is it your health? If you don't have your health, what's the point of even working? These type things. So I get it. Everyone's in a different chapter in our lives, and we can't just drop everything to go walk outside at a perfect noon time every single day. But I think over time we can work through the barriers and the obstacles. And if you need help figuring the schedule out and the systems to really kind of put it in place and make a plan, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would always love to connect and see if I can be helpful. How does spending time in nature affect my mental and emotional well-being? What happens for you when you get outside and you really connect with Mother Earth? Do you just feel lighter? Do you feel more calm? Do you feel some of the benefits that we were able to talk about this morning, like less stress, better mental health, physical health, connecting spiritually, these types of things? And then lastly, I want to ask, how can I deepen my connection to the natural world and cultivate a greater sense of reverence and stewardship for my Mother Earth, for Mother Earth in my daily life? More specifically said, how can you help Mother Earth? How can you put your efforts in to really take care of it? Whether it's just taking care of your yard, maybe you go do something with a friend, but how do you want to spend Earth today? And how can we cultivate this mindset that Mother Earth, we need Mother Earth, and Mother Earth doesn't need us. So how can we treat it with respect? How can we go above and beyond to really realize how special this planet is? Let me get rid of this real quick. How can we go above and beyond to really understand, like, wow, this is a really special setup. This is an incredible life. I can't believe, like, the weather and everything. There's medicines all over this earth for us to heal ourselves. Like, how the heck is all of this even possible, whether you're religious or not? I think it's just really cool to dive into that spiritual and state of gratitude to see how special all of this is. So shout out to Mother Earth. Absolutely love you, Mother Earth. You're the best. Thank you so much. And I look forward to spending as much time as possible on here. So I'm going to make sure to try and get outside a little bit today, put my feet on some grass, and better connect. So cheers, friends. I hope this was helpful. Hope this was fun to kind of do a little deep dive on just some history, whether it's some oil spills creating the holiday, what are some impacts that we had, just like whether it's air pollution or waste things, like what are some things that are really important to us, and then additionally some activities that we can do to just get out and enjoy life more. Cheers, friends. I hope you guys have a great, great day. This was episode 501, all about Mother Earth. Cheers to Earth Day. And I'll catch you guys on the next one, episode 502, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time with another episode of Talk to Your Morning Show. Cheers, friends. I'm out of here. Peace.